Okay, what is going on with Don Lemon? Okay, Don Lemon has gotten himself in trouble, saying things he was not supposed to say. He will be forced to have formal training after frank talks with CNN boss Chris Litch. Okay.
Unbelievable.
So he needs to be trained because Don Lemon obviously is a sexist. What is going on here with Don Lemon? It's been said. Embattled CNN's anchor Don Lemon will return to CNN this morning on Wednesday, but has to undertake formal training after his litany of problematic on-air comments. Okay, so Don Lemon has been saying things he has no business saying on air. According to this article, the 56-year-old anchor was absent from the show with co-host Poppy Hollow and Caitlin Collins on Monday, following the remarks that he has made Thursday about Republican candidate Nikki Haley being past her prime. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this video. We're going to play this video quickly so you have an idea of what's going on here.
Don Lemon has apologized to CNN staff for the comments he made about former South Carolina governor and 2024 presidential candidate Nikki Haley. The CNN anchor called into a staff meeting Friday and offered an apology to co-workers during a daily editorial call at the news network for saying 51-year-old Haley was past her prime on Thursday's episode of CNN This Morning. Sources say he owned up to his badly chosen words and said he stands against sexism and racism. He also thanked his female colleagues. In announcing her candidacy for the Republican presidential nomination, Haley said there should be a mental competency test for any politician over age 75, something that would apply to both President Joe Biden and fellow Republican candidate Donald Trump. This was Lemon's take.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Even though Lemon's comments didn't sit well with co-anchor Poppy Harlow, he didn't walk them back during the show.
If you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily...
40s. Oh, I got another
I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that.
Later on Thursday, Lemon took to Twitter to apologize. He wrote, "The reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it. A woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day." The anchor had the day off from CNN This Morning on Friday, a break that was already scheduled before Thursday's on-air dust-up.
Wow. So this was the issue here. He was talking about Nikki Haley, who's running for president, as being too old to be in her prime. She's in her 50s. So as a result of that, Don Lemon got in trouble. Is that what we get in trouble for now? I mean, that's the thing. This woke ideology is so, the politically correctness that's behind this. Even a man like Don Lemon, though he is black, he is gay, he is for the Democrats, he is very woke, still gets himself in trouble. Now, this is not the first time Don Lemon got in trouble. Let's look at another video where Don Lemon was talking about equal pay for women. The difference is that women's sport is just not as interesting as men's sports are, right? Let's take a listen to this.
And put them on their airwaves more and allow people and allow people to see it more and gain more fans, then you will push toward more equality. But if they are blocked in so many ways and not invested in as much, they don't even have a... I know you're not, but they don't even have a shot.
I grew up the only boy in a family of all women. I understand what you're saying. But not everybody, honestly, has the same skill. Not everybody has the same interest in the sport. I think the women should be paid more. I do. But if the men...
You're right that not everyone has the same skills because the women are better skilled.
Well, the women are better skilled against other women. But if the women played the men, they wouldn't be winning the way that they win.
Yeah, I said it.
How stupid are you?
I'm not sure what part of what Don Lemon said here is so wrong, but for the wokesters, this is not enough. That is still considered sexist.
Okay.
Yep. So you heard that. So this is what's going on with Don Lemon here. But again, friends, this is not the first time Don Lemon got himself in trouble. Don Lemon said something recently. Well, I wouldn't say recently, a couple of years ago, 2013, when when truth was popular, when truth was common, common sense is no longer common today. But here is Don Lemon when Don Lemon used to speak his mind unrestrained.
Please, speak your mind.
The reason there is so much violence and chaos in the black precincts is the disintegration of the African American family.
He's got a point. In fact, he's got more than a point. Bill?
Raised without much structure, young black men often reject education and gravitate towards the street culture, drugs, hustling, gangs. Nobody forces them to do that. Again, it is a personal decision.
He is right about that too. But in my estimation, he doesn't go far enough. Because black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing. Here's number 5. And if this doesn't apply to you, if you're not doing this, then it doesn't apply to you. I'm not talking about you. Here's number 5. Pull up your pants. Some people, a lot of them black, gave me flack for saying that recently on the Wendy Williams show. If you're sagging, it means, I think it's your self-esteem is sagging and who you are as a person, it's sagging. Young people need to be taught respect, and there are rules. Sagging pants, whether it's Justin Bieber or no-name Derek around the way, walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. In fact, it comes from prison when they take away belts from the prisoner so that they can't make a weapon. And then it evolved into which role a prisoner would have during male-on-male prison sex. The one with the really low pants is a submissive one. You get my point? Number 4 now is the N-word.
For our generation, what we did was we took the word and we took the power out of that word.
We took this word and we made it into poetry.
I understand poetic license, but consider this. I hosted a special on the N-word, suggesting that black people stop using it, and that entertainers stop deluding yourselves or themselves and others that you're somehow taking the word back. By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may just be perpetuating the stereotype the master intended, acting like a nigger? A lot of African Americans took offense to that too, and I wondered if I gave the right advice. I really did. But confirmation came the very next day on my way home when I exited the subway on 125th Street in Harlem. This little kid in a school uniform, no older than 7 years old, he was crying his eyes out as he walked down the sidewalk with his mother. I'm going to be honest here. She turned to him and she said, "I'm sick of you. You act like an old-ass man. Stop all that crying, nigger." Is that taking the word back? Think about that. Now number 3, respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away. Just being honest here. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English. A high school dropout makes on average $19,000 a year. A high school graduate makes $28,000 a year. A college graduate makes $51,000 a year. Over the course of a career, a college grad will make nearly $1 million more than a high school graduate. That's a lot of money. And number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should, especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers. And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues. So please, black folks, as I said, if this doesn't apply to you, I'm not talking to you. Pay attention to and think about what has been presented in recent history as acceptable behavior. Pay close attention to the hip-hop and rap culture that many of you embrace, a culture that glorifies everything I just mentioned, thug and reprehensible behavior, a culture that is making a lot of people rich, just not you, and it's not going to.
Exactly. me. Amen. 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 Amen.
Couple years ago, that was acceptable. But today, Don Lemon's language could be classified as either sexist, insensitive, unthoughtful. There are many words that Don Lemon is going to get in trouble for in today's age. But it's just the way things have become. This is what happens when you place emotion above principles. This is when feelings take the front and driver's seat instead of laws and righteousness and truth. Well, I'll tell you what, I did not find anything wrong with what Don Lemon said. In all of his videos, I actually agree. I think I would have changed my approach slightly, but he didn't say anything that wasn't true. But the thing is, you can't say that when you work over at CNN, because you have to understand the cancel culture, the emotional, driven, wokesters, should I say, are consistently pay attention to everything you say. Therefore, you got to make sure you do what you're supposed to be doing. Behave yourself.
You are lying.
You see, this is what happens, friends, when we compromise our perspective and our views and our truth for popular culture. This is something you should never do. And this is why Don Lemon has to apologize, and it will never be enough. From what I've heard, Don Lemon is on vacation. That's not too bad during such a time. He's on vacation in Florida. All right, Florida, the state that they hate so much, they speak so much negative about, but whenever they take vacation, they go to Florida. So Don Lemon's got a lot to learn. Yeah, man, spotted in Florida, Miami, washing off the criticism by relaxing with his partner, Tim Mahone, at a 2,000 a night luxury beach resort. Fayena. That must be nice. That's a good way to take some time off. Go spend time. They say he is rude, self-righteous, clearly sexist. Okay. Yeah, his apology means nothing. Yeah, that's the thing. The cancel culture doesn't forgive. Jesus forgives, not men. So Don Lemon has got a lot to learn. That's what happened when they put you between two ladies.
Yikes.
Working at CNN, you're in trouble, boy. You should have just quit. Maybe go find another job. Start a YouTube channel or something. Otherwise, you're not allowed to think you're thinking. You should have known better. But here's the thing. This is the thing that I have to agree with Don Lemon about, is that some of the things he said about black people, regardless of how offensive it might be for some, but it's true. Is the truth, is bold truth, regardless of how uncomfortable it is today. Speaking the truth in love. The thing is, we must always do that. It's okay to speak the truth, but speak it in love, but also know that there is a price for speaking the truth. There is a price for speaking the truth. And you got to count the cost, man. If you're going to live with this cancel culture mentality, you're going to let the woke revolutionaries determine your conscience, you are in serious trouble. The Bible says, who shall abide in his tabernacle? Who shall dwell in his holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. That's what's lacking today. More people to tell it like it is. Say it in love, but say it. But you got to know where you work at before you start talking like that, because, they're watching you, boy. Anyway, I wish Don Lemon the best. CNN is keeping him for now, so he has to go and be trained and learn how to stop being so sexist in his conversation. Yeah, this is what you get for sharing your perspective in today's culture. Yep, he has to go to formal training. Ain't that something? Formal training.
I'm coming for you.
Formal training. Why? Because he offended some people. Anyway, this is what we got going on. Anyway, friends, share your thought and perspective with me below. Let me know what you think about this reaction video. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.
I quit.